Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the oil in your car without like any sort of specialty tools and like the absolute minimum. But first things first, we got to change into clothes we don't care about, because the clothes, you're in are going to be grubby, and I don't want to get these messed up. So let's go. Whoa, how'd that happen? Well, I'm going to be wearing coveralls, but like you can pretty much wear anything you want to, as long as you don't really care about it, because your clothes are going to get greasy no matter what. So over here we have our minimum list of tools and supplies. So for tools, you're gonna need yourself a torque wrench, a correct size socket for the torque wrench, and your choice of either one of these three, whether it's a socket, an adjustable wrench, and or the correct size open-ended, but it has to be the same size as this. Last thing we have is jack stands. These are really important if your car is short like mine, because while you can put it up on blocks, I really don't recommend that, because that could be unstable and you don't really don't want your car falling on you. But if you have a tall car, however, like a truck or something that's lifted, you don't really have to do jack stands. So the nice thing about investing in some nice tools is that all of these tools you'll be able to use in other projects if you want to start working on your car more. Like the torque wrench is pretty much used in every single project, jack stands every single project, socket wrench every single project. You get the idea. So I was originally going to try and use this scissor lift to do it, in the sake of, beginners not having all the tools necessary. The problem is this is too small for my large jack stands. And then I was going to use this one, which is sort of a smaller, cheaper, entry-level one that I had for a while. But then that's too small for these jack stands. So more of the story, this one will be tough to use. You can definitely use a stand like this, or like a pump like this. But then the problem is you need to get small jack stands. My jack stands are way too big for what I have. So I'm going to have to use the big one, but that is not needed. When you're jacking up your car, make sure you look up the exact correct jack points. Like, for example, mine is that little square piece of metal sticking down right here. Because if you don't use the correct jack points, that could create big problems with your frame. Don't forget to chalk your wheels. You could also use like wood blocks for this part, but I have some special chalks. Starting to rain a little bit, as you can see, so I gotta go quick. Before you start going underneath the car, first thing you want to do, my car is special because the engine's in the back, most of the time yours is going to be in the front, is you're going to want to open up and remove the oil fill cap. Even though you're not filling it yet, this will allow air to flow through the engine when you're draining the oil. So yeah, make sure that is removed. So next thing is you're going to want to take a bucket, or I have a drain pan, but this is what you're going to put your oil in, and you're going to want to slide that right up underneath the oil drain plug. So underneath the car, you're going to be able to find your drain plug, because it's sort of the only screw or nut that's like facing down, and I mean it's at the bottom of your car, so it's pretty easy to find. And you got to find the right socket. So for example, mine's a 14 millimeter socket, but it could vary by your car. All right, so next up we're just going to straight up remove this, and be careful when you remove it, because oil is going to come out. So just remove your hand quickly so you don't get too greasy. I am going to use a socket wrench, but remember you could also use an open-ended wrench or an adjustable wrench. All right, now it's time for me to remove the bolt. Might take a little bit of force. Once you break it loose, you could loosen it by hand. Oh shoot, I missed. Damn it, oh, I'll have to clean that up. What you do while you're waiting for that to drain is you could take your old bolt, take off the old crush washer, and go ahead and put on a new one. So you would just take it off. So these are designed to be disposable, so every single oil change you should get a new crush washer. Here we go. So this one's blue, but it might look like a little ring, like a normal washer that's bent a little bit as well. There's a couple different types. Once your oil's pretty much done draining, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your torque wrench. So what your torque wrench is it's a special type of wrench that helps you control how tight your bolt is going to be. And that's really important for stuff like this, to ensure that stuff doesn't leak. So you would take your Butterfingers. You would take your socket, put it on here, and then on my car the torque setting is 18 foot-pounds. So you can adjust that here, but it's different on every single car, so you have to look that up. So here, I have mine set to 18 foot-pounds, and then we can now torque back down that bolt. For your drain plug bolt, I would first recommend finger tightening it down, just getting as tight as possible with your fingers, and then going in with your torque wrench. And it might take quite a bit of wrenching to get it perfectly right. Hold on, we can take the oil pin out of the way. Now, it's spilled with quite a bit of oil, but we can clean that up later. So once you hear this little click, here, I'll be quiet. And there's a little bit of give. That means that you're done torquing. You end up spilling some oil like I did, it's not too big a deal, especially if it's outside, because it'll dry up. Just lay a rag on top of it for now, and then you could work over it. If we're gonna change our oil filter, we gotta take it off the old car, put on a new one. It's small, it's round, and here, you'll have to find it on your car. It looks like this. It'll be sort of stuck. It varies by car, you should look it up. So oil filters can be tough because they're a lot of the times in tough spots, similar to mine, and they're slippery. Like I can't really get a good grip. So the trick for that is, because you're gonna replace it anyways, you could literally stab a screwdriver through it and use that as like a lever to turn it. I'll show you in a second. All right, so make sure you get a screwdriver that's pretty solid, it's pretty straight, and it's got a pointy tip. Preferably, you kind of really need a Phillips head. I'm not actually going to use this method because mine is lucky, and I have that little, here you see this little hex on top that I could use to fit a socket over. But that trick is for if you cannot get yours off and you don't have that little hex on top. So yeah. Be careful now once you get it broken loose, because oil will come out. So make sure to move your pan back underneath so it catches it. All right, once you got yours off and it stopped dripping out, you're good to go and screw it back in. Finger tight is good enough. Just make sure you crank on it really hard. All right, now that we have all that in, it's time to pour in the oil, although I have to go quick because it's raining. All you gotta do is just find yourself a good funnel, stick it inside of the oil port, and then pour your oil in. I would not recommend working in the rain, but if you have to, I would use an umbrella because you don't want water to get mixed in with your oil. When you're done, check your dipstick, make sure it's good. Mine's a little bit over the fill line. Yeah, and then you're done. Jack her down and start her up.